Happy Friday again, business owners. It's another jazz festing in place with the PPP, and had another update for y'all today. The IRS issued some guidance on some deductibility of expenses that you pay with your PPP loan, and wanted to share some of that insight with y'all quickly. First, you should know that right now a lot of folks have received their PPP money and they're starting to spend that, and they're anticipating getting forgiveness coming up. Congress explicitly wrote into the CARES Act that when a business owner receives forgiveness for their PPP loan, that forgiveness itself is not taxable. But a lot of us are using that loan to pay for expenses that would otherwise be deductible: payroll costs, employee health care, rent, utilities, etc. So the IRS issued a ruling today, or just an opinion that I want to go through with quickly, that basically says that if you receive a loan and you use that on deductible expenses, that you cannot then turn around and claim that loan, the forgiveness of that loan, not as income, and claim those expenses that you had paid as deductions as well. Basically, it's a double benefit, right? So I'm going to link to this IRS opinion in the description here, if you want to read through it yourself. But long story short, that's what it says, is that you can't get a double benefit. I think the one kind of example to go through, the case that kind of seems to be very similar, talks about a airman who was a veteran who sometime in 1970 or 80 or so, went to an educational course that was paid for, and he didn't receive a tax benefit for receiving the money associated with getting that education. And what happens is he then turned around and said, well, I received this money, I paid for my education, but then he also deducted the cost of that education from his income, saying there's a deduction there for that. And so in a reviewed opinion, the court held that the reimbursed flight training expenses were non-deductible. Um, so that's the case that's there, but again, this is kind of complicated, but I think really the key here is this, is that consistent with the tax code, it's a double benefit. So just be on the lookout for that. So I guess the big point here is, A, just be aware that there's no double benefit there. A lot of people probably haven't noticed that yet, and will start to notice that at the end of this year, beginning of next year, when they start really looking at their taxes. But also, it's just another important reason to make sure that your accounting of all of this is accurate, to make sure that you get the maximum amount of forgiveness, and to make sure that your taxes are on the straight and narrow of this. So hope everyone's doing fine, healthy, and safe out there, and enjoy the rest of your day.